Today we're going to prep and fit the Audiosport rear bumper for the Volkswagen T4 Transporter. This is the bumper. Now aesthetically it's almost identical to the original late bumper, but the main difference with this bumper is what it's made of, which is GRP fiberglass. Now the main benefit of this is when you go to colour code paint the original plastic bumper on the T4, you find that it's got a very heavy textured pattern. Also being made of plastic, it's very difficult to get the paint to stick to it and stay stuck to it for a period of time. With GRP we don't have this problem. Firstly, this is a smooth surface, so there's no texture to deal with. Secondly, GRP fiberglass paint adheres exceedingly well, so we don't need any special primers to make the paint stick. Now, saying all that, we have got a couple of bits of prep to do. There's this line to deal with, which is a tooling line, which is left over from the manufacturing process. We need to just rub that out with a little bit of 240 and deal with that. What we're also going to do today is we're going to fit these rear spats from Audiosport, which fit just neatly along the bottom of the bumper and give it a bit of a lower look. So we're going to fit those as well today. Once we've got those all fitted up, what we'll do then is we'll rub the whole bumper down and we'll put a surface primer on it, ready to paint. So we'll get stuck in, get these spats on, and then we'll move on from there. What I've been doing for the last couple of minutes is just lining up this spat on this side. Now what I've done is I've sort of lined it up, decided where I was happy, and then what I've done is put a pencil line to where my spat is going to go. Now I have trimmed up this edge a little bit just to make sure I was happy with the fit and how it went on in the place that I wanted it to go. What I'm going to do now is going to use a bit of sandpaper, a bit of 80 grit, and I'm going to key all this area below the pencil line to give it a good bond. I've keyed all the area up below the pencil line, ready to bond these spats on. Now what I'm using to stick these on is a polyurethane sealer, a PU sealer. Brand names of this would be Sikaflex or Tiger Seal, other things like that. Very, very good stuff. Goes sort of rubbery after, but sticks really well. What I'm going to do is put a line of the sealer just below my pencil line, all the way down and round. Then I'm going to put a little bit inside my spat as well. Now I'm not too worried if this oozes out over the side, because I can trim that back afterwards. So I'm going to put some of that in, I'm going to clamp it and tape it in place, and then let it bond and let it stick. As you can see, I've put my line of sealer on the bumper and on the spat. So what I'm going to do now is stick this back on here. I'm going to follow my line as much as I can, as best I can. That's good. Now I'm just using a plastic clamp. It's a good idea to have a pair of gloves on when doing this, because this stuff does go everywhere. Right, okay. If we clamp on the bottom, that's held that lovely. Just going to push that in. As I say, I'm not worried if it oozes over the top, because I can trim that back later. That's not a problem. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to put a couple of bits of masking tape just to stop it moving around all over the place. Easier said than done in gloves. Just happy that where's my line? There it is. Happy that the line's there. A couple of bits of tape. That's got that in place lovely. Good, happy with that. I'm going to put a couple of more bits of tape on it. Might see if I can get another clamp on somewhere. But that's basically what we want to do. Once that's bonded, we can trim that bit of waste off and get into prep. Okay, just to update, as you've seen I did put a couple of more bits of tape on it. Couldn't get another clamp on, but it's not a problem because it's all sitting fine anyway. This PU sealer, you can, if you want to, smooth the edge out with your finger and start cleaning it away. It will wash down with a bit of cellulose thinner, so you can just run your finger through and then wipe it down with thinners to take a lot of the waste away. I'm not going to do that, as I said, because I'm going to trim it off afterwards, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another bead over the top to finish it off. But you can do that now in this stage. So I'm happy with that side. What we'll do now is turn the bumper around and do the other. Bonded the other side in place, put a couple of bits extra tape on just to make sure that I'm happy. That's both sides on now. What I also did was I just got my finger in here and just pushed the sealer right up into the corners as far as I could get my finger in, so I'm sort of happy with that now. Nothing more I can do with this, needs to bond overnight, so we'll leave it go and we'll pick it up once it's dry. We've left our PU sealer stick overnight and now they're bonded on, and these are on really well. They're really nice and strong and not going anywhere. What I did was took the tape off, run a Stanley blade down on this edge, just picked away the waste. Now this is nice and neat and tidy, this edge. Now we could have quite happily painted these spats, bonded them on this way, and that would have been fine. But what I want to do is I just want to radius off this line here. I want to radius it off all the way around. I want it to look like the spats grew there. So I'm just going to put a bit of finishing filler through here and just radius off the edge to make it look neat and tidy. What I'm also going to do at this stage, just deal with this tooling line by flattening that back again. Just put a little bit of finishing filler on if needed to sort that out, and then we'll be ready to surface prime. We put a little bit of finishing filler over our spats just to blend them in nicely with the rest of the bumper. The line is looking good. We then took the bumper and flattened it back with a bit of 240 and put a surfacing primer over the top. It's now ready to go to paint, so we'll send it off to paint and see how it looks when it gets back. Right, this is our bumper back from paint. As you can see, it's all gone in very well. So all we've got to do now is fit it. Okay, the old rear bumper comes off in a couple of different places. There's two bolts underneath the wheel arch, one each side. There's also a couple underneath the bumper, right underneath, under this section. And there's actually two under here. Doesn't want to come off. There you go, you can just see the tabs. This one has already been off once before. They can be a bit tricky to get to, and we're not going to replace them when we put them back on. So we're going to undo this, take this bumper off, remove the fog lights, ready to fit our new bumper. As you can see, this is the bumper removed. We're going to leave everything in place, going to leave the foam section and the bumper iron there and fit the bumper over the top. And finally there's the fitted bumper with the spats fitted to it.